in the short time available to me, I want to once again put on the record of the House that I'm a postmaster since 2003 and proud to be one. This private member's business was framed in a constructive manner and a non-contentious PMB, and I'm quite frankly surprised that the government decided to go and put an amendment to the private member's business. Because quite simply what it's asking here today is for the government to honour a commitment that they themselves made in their programme for government to ensure the sustainability of the post office network. And the government must acknowledge the fact that 48 of the branches network do 11% of the business. So while the government talks about An Post being a commercial state company, many of the branches are not commercially viable. And there needs to be clear recognition from the government of the unique and the vital social contribution to the state that An Post network is making. It's not just the economic contribution, but it's the vital social contribution that it's making to the state. And it's disingenuous for the Minister to talk about previous reductions in the number of the branch networks under the past administration, because what he failed to admit at the time that these reductions were voluntary reductions, and these reductions were made at a time when there was huge investment in the computerisation of the post office network, and certain people didn't choose to become computerised. And the facts of the matter speak for themselves, because there was an independent Grant Thornton report published citing clear examples of how state services could be provided through the post office network while at the same time saving the state money. And it is amazing that 3 years on, 3 years into the lifetime of this government, the government is now talking about a whole of government approach. Why did it take 3 years? And why did it take the fear and anxiety being spread into the people of the communities that the post office network served and the Irish Postmasters Union to have to come to Leinster House and protest, for you to sit up and take note of what needs to be done? If we look at the record so far, the whole issue in relation to the driving licence debacle, that was framed in such a way that it was a disadvantage to An Post to tender for that service. And if we listen to Minister Rabbitte a few short months ago when he was talking about the broadcasting fee, he cited, well, he said Revenue did a good job on collecting the household charge, so maybe Revenue might collect the broadcasting fee. And previous government deputies and the Minister himself has alluded to the fact that the Department of Social Protection An Post won the contract for that service. Yes, they did. But what is the department now doing? They're writing out to all recipients of social welfare advocating that they get their money paid electronically through the bank account.
Thank you, Deputy.
And we have the farcical situation of government TDs coming in here and calling on the Department of Social Protection to cease this practice. Ye are in government. Never mind calling on them. Instruct this Department of Social Protection to cease this practice. Instruct the department to honour the tender that has been won. And for God's sake, work with the Irish Postmasters Union, work with the various agencies to ensure that you honour the commitment that you made in the programme for government, and that you support the many, many communities, length and breadth of this country, both urban and rural, to ensure that we have the sustainability of the post office network into the future. Because I, for one, in my short time in this House, have never been contacted so frequently by phone, by email, by post of people who are extremely concerned and worried that the future of their post office, the heart of their community, isn't safe as long as this government is in power.